Cold silence filled the dark edges of space. The Galactic Coalition survey ship Seraphis moved through the quiet stars like a silver arrow. Its smooth hull reflected the light of a dying sun, and its scanners reached out into the void, searching for lost signals, strange energy, or anything new worth studying. Inside the ship, everything was calm. Blue lights glowed softly along the corridors. The air was perfectly still. The crew, tall, elegant women with skin that shimmered faintly like crystal, walked with slow, graceful steps. They were the Visari, one of the oldest and most intelligent races in the known galaxy. Their long lives and powerful minds made them respected among many species. For hundreds of years, they had explored countless worlds and studied thousands of forms of life. But on this day, they found something truly unexpected. "Commander Saru," said one of the technicians, her voice soft and musical, "we have detected an escape pod. Very old metal structure, not of Coalition design." Dr. Saru Valnai, the ship's lead biologist and medical officer, turned from her console. Her skin reflected faint shades of violet under the light, and her 4 bright eyes focused on the image that appeared on the screen. A small object drifted slowly through the blackness, spinning gently, its surface scarred by heat and time. "Retrieve it," Saru ordered calmly. "Bring it to the lab. Let's see what secret the void has given us today." Moments later, magnetic beams drew the pod into the docking bay. The metal was rough, primitive by Vessery standards. It looked like something from a forgotten age. The markings on the side were faded, but Saru's translator program quickly recognized the symbols. "Earth, United Nations." "Rescue capsule," she read aloud. "Origin Sol system," she frowned slightly. "Human," the other Visari murmured among themselves. Few had ever seen a real human before. Some believed the species had vanished after destroying their homeworld with wars and pollution. Others said they had spread across the stars, surviving in hidden corners. But no one truly knew. With quiet precision, the pod was opened. Inside lay a person, female, wearing a worn pressure suit. Her face was pale, her hair dark and tangled. Frost crystals covered her shoulders. Her breathing was weak but steady. "Alive," one of the assistants said with surprise. "She's alive." "Bring her to the medical chamber," Saru commanded. "We must examine her immediately." The chamber was bright and full of soft hums from alien machinery. Strange lights moved across the ceiling, scanning the air. Transparent screens floated above silver tables, showing medical data written in glowing alien letters. The human woman was carefully placed on the main bed. The Vessery worked quickly, attaching sensors and scanning her vital signs. Saru watched closely, her mind full of questions. This was not just a discovery, it was a miracle. After several minutes, the woman's eyes fluttered open. She gasped, sitting up suddenly. The air here smelled strange to her, sweet and clean like metal and flowers. She blinked and saw tall, glowing figures around her. Her first thought was that she was dreaming. Where am I?" she whispered, voice dry and weak. Saru stepped forward, her movements calm and kind. "You are safe," she said gently. "You are aboard the Galactic Coalition vessel Seraphis. I am Dr. Saru Valnai. You were found in an escape pod." "Can you tell me your name?" The woman hesitated, looking around at the alien faces. Her training as a space captain told her to stay calm. "Captain Maya Trent, Earth Expeditionary Corps," she said finally. How long was I out?" Saru tilted her head slightly. "Your pod's time record is damaged, but we estimate 372 years," Maya froze. Her heart skipped a beat. 300 years? Saru nodded softly. "Yes, but you have survived. That is most impressive for an unengineered species." Maya blinked, confused. "Unengineered? What are you talking about?" Saru smiled in her gentle, alien way. "Most sentient races modify their biology for survival. You apparently did not. It is fascinating. We would like to perform a full medical analysis. Nothing harmful, I assure you." Maya frowned.
"Medical analysis?"
"Wait, what kind of analysis?" The examination room brightened as the Visari prepared their instruments. Floating metal devices hummed softly, and thin silver arms unfolded from the ceiling, carrying tools that glowed with soft blue light. Maya watched them carefully, her instincts on alert. "You're really putting that, whatever it is, in my legs?" she asked, staring as one of the instruments hovered near her thigh. Saru blinked, surprised by the tone of fear and humor in the human's voice. "Yes, of course. It is a nanostructural scanner. It reads bone density and cell regeneration speed. It will only enter through the skin for a moment. Maya raised her eyebrows. Through the skin? With a glowing needle? Oh, no, no, no. Back on Earth, we used to call that a bad idea. Saru tilted her head, unsure how to respond. I assure you there is no pain. That's exactly what every medic says right before it hurts, Maya muttered. The Visari assistants exchanged puzzled glances. Humor was not common among their kind, but Saru found herself intrigued. There was something very alive about this human, something unguarded and unpredictable. Still, the procedure had to continue. Captain Trent, Saru said carefully, if we are to help you recover, we must understand your physiology. Please remain still. Maya sighed, trying to relax. Fine, but if that thing stings, I'm jumping off this bed. The aliens did not quite understand the joke, but Saru gave a small, polite nod. Understood. The scanner arm descended, releasing a faint blue beam that touched Maya's skin. She flinched slightly, expecting pain, but there was only a soft, tingling warmth. Strange shapes appeared on the floating screens. Colorful energy patterns, lines of data. The Visari watched in silence. Then suddenly the readings began to flicker. Alarms beeped softly. The blue beam turned red. What's happening? Saru asked. Her immune system is resisting the scan, said one assistant, her voice shocked. It's rejecting the nanoprobes. Impossible, Saru murmured. No organic life form has ever done that. Maya looked around, nervous. Is that bad? Saru's eyes widened slightly. No, Captain. It is remarkable. The scanner tried again, but the result was the same. The tiny machines the Visari used to study cells were being destroyed one by one inside Maya's body. Her immune system was fighting them like an invading army. Saru turned to her crew. And the procedure. She is not to be harmed. The machines withdrew. The light faded. Maya exhaled with relief. See? I told you my legs didn't want that stuff in them. To everyone's surprise, a few of the Visari laughed, softly, awkwardly. Their crystalline faces showed something they rarely expressed, amusement. Saru smiled faintly. Captain Trent, she said, your body is resisting technology that has studied thousands of species. It should not be possible. Maya shrugged. Guess I'm full of surprises. Yes, Saru said thoughtfully. You are. Later, when Maya was resting, Saru recorded her first observations. Subject displays advanced muscular and neural coordination. Reflexes remain active even after centuries of cryosleep. Biological defense systems operate at an unprecedented level. She paused, looking at the sleeping human through the glass. There was something about her, a kind of strength that did not come from technology or evolution. It came from something deeper. She adapts without adaptation, Saru whispered. She survives without assistance. A species like this could endure anything. Outside the chamber window, Maya stirred and muttered in her sleep. You're not putting that in my legs. Saru smiled again, a rare, genuine smile. For the first time in many years, she felt excitement. The universe had just reminded her that even after centuries of discovery, there were still mysteries worth chasing, and humanity, it seemed, was one of them. Captain Maya Trent woke up to the soft hum of alien machines. The room was quiet, almost too quiet. Blue lights glowed from the walls like calm ocean waves. The bed she lay on felt smooth and warm, like it was made of living metal. She blinked, remembering the day before. The strange alien women, their glowing skin, the medical exam, and that ridiculous blue scanner that had tried to enter her legs. The memory made her smile. Her smile faded when she saw Dr. Saru Valnai standing nearby, studying a floating screen filled with moving symbols. You're awake, Saru said, turning her crystal blue eyes toward Maya. How do you feel? Like I got hit by a spaceship, Maya muttered. But I guess that's normal for someone who just woke up after 300 years. Saru gave a small nod. Your humor is persistent. That is a good sign. Humans seem to recover faster when they are optimistic. Yeah, that's what we do, Maya said. Complain, joke, and keep going. Saru studied her closely, fascinated by every gesture and tone. To the Visari, emotion was a thing to be controlled, but Maya wore hers openly, fear, curiosity, and amusement all at once. It made her seem unpredictable and alive. A few minutes later, Saru guided Maya into another room. This one was larger. with a round glass floor and a ring of machines above it. The air shimmered slightly, full of energy. "What is this place?" Maya asked. "Our experimental chamber," Saru replied. "We use it to study biological reactions in controlled conditions. Yesterday's test was unexpected. Your body rejected our nanoprobes. We would like to understand why." Maya raised an eyebrow. "You mean you want to poke me again?" Saru tilted her head. "Not poke, observe. The next test will be non-invasive." "Only sensors," Maya crossed her arms. "The last time you said that, something glowing tried to crawl under my skin." Saru blinked, confused. "Crawl?" "Never mind," Maya sighed. "Fine. But if anything tries to crawl into me again, I'm running." Saru's lips curved slightly in what might have been a smile. "Understood." The Vessery assistants prepared the chamber. Dozens of small floating orbs surrounded Maya, each one glowing faintly. They began to hum softly as data filled the air. The orbs projected invisible waves across her body, reading her cells, nerves, and energy fields. For several minutes, everything was calm. The machines recorded perfect results, but then the readings began to shift again. Saru frowned. "Strange. The energy pattern is changing." Maya looked nervous. "Changing how?" "Your body is releasing heat, adrenaline, and electrical surges at once," Saru said. "It's as if you are preparing for danger." Maya gave a half smile. "Well, being surrounded by floating orbs doesn't exactly make me feel safe." The orbs glowed brighter as her heart rate increased. The sensors detected her rising anxiety, and the strange part was her body wasn't just reacting. It was fighting back. Her cells were producing electromagnetic pulses that interfered with the orb's readings. The lights flickered. Several of the orbs drifted out of position. "Dr. Valnai," one assistant called. "Her body's field is disrupting the instruments." Maya took a step back. "Wait, I'm doing that?" Saru's four eyes widened. "Apparently so. This is extraordinary." The chamber lights dimmed as Saru switched to manual control. The orbs backed away and reformed in a wider circle. "Captain Trent," she said calmly, "you are generating a biological energy output similar to a defensive shield." "A what now?" Saru's hands moved quickly over the control panel. "It is as if your body senses our technology as a threat. It adapts instantly." Maya frowned. "You mean I'm allergic to aliens?" "Not allergic," Saru said thoughtfully. "Protective. Adaptive. Your species has survived extreme conditions. Heat, cold, toxins, radiation. Perhaps this is the same process on a smaller scale." Maya looked at her hands, then at the glowing floor beneath her feet. "So my body just decided to throw a tantrum?" Saru paused, processing the phrase. "Tantrum, yes. A biological tantrum." Maya laughed softly despite the tension. "You've got to be kidding me." But the laughter faded as the readings continued to rise. The electromagnetic field around her body was now strong enough to affect the entire room. Monitors flickered and one machine shut down completely. Saru gave a sharp command in her native tongue. The assistants quickly powered down the devices. The hum in the air faded. Slowly, the glowing orbs fell still. When everything settled, Maya stood in the middle of the room, breathing heavily. "Well," she said, "that was fun. Can we not do that again?" Saru approached, scanning the results. "You are unharmed, remarkable." "Yeah, can't say the same for your fancy gadgets." Saru looked at the damaged machines, then back at Maya. "Captain Trent, your species is unlike any we have studied. Your body reacts faster than any biological system we know. Even our enhanced cells cannot do this without mechanical aid." Maya wiped the sweat from her forehead. "Guess we humans are built to last." Saru stared at her for a long moment. "Built or forged? What do you mean? Your world was harsh. Your history violent. Yet you survived, not through design but through will. You evolved to face constant struggle." Maya gave a faint smile. "We call it stubbornness." Saru looked thoughtful. "A primitive word for something powerful." Later, back in the lab, Saru replayed the data from the experiment. The energy patterns from Maya's body were chaotic yet purposeful, like a storm that refused to be contained. Her assistant, a younger Vesari named Tira, spoke softly. "Doctor, should we report this to the Coalition Council? They might consider it dangerous." Saru didn't answer immediately. She looked through the glass at Maya, who was sitting quietly talking to one of the crew. The human was laughing, using gestures and expressions the Vesari didn't fully understand. But it was charming. "No," Saru said finally. "Not yet. I want to learn more." Humanity has been forgotten for too long. Perhaps we misjudge them, Tira hesitated. You believe they are advanced? Saru shook her head slowly. Not advanced. Enduring. There is a difference. A short time later, Maya was invited to the ship's observation deck. It was a vast open space with a clear dome showing the stars. She stood there in awe. The galaxy stretched endlessly before her, colors, lights, and shadows. She had dreamed of this as a child, but seeing it like this felt unreal. Saru joined her, standing silently beside her. It's beautiful, Maya said softly. Yes, Saru replied. Our people stopped admiring it long ago. We see only data and maps. You remind us to look again, Maya smiled. Well, you're welcome. After a long pause, Saru asked, Captain Trent, what drove your species to explore the stars even when your world was full of danger? Maya looked up. Curiosity. We always want to know what's out there. Sometimes it gets us in trouble, but it's who we are. Saru turned her gaze to the stars. Curiosity without fear. That is rare, Maya laughed lightly. Oh, we have plenty of fear. We just don't let it stop us. Saru glanced at her. Perhaps that is what makes you unique. When Maya went back to rest, Saru recorded her final note for the day. Subject continues to defy biological logic. Her cells respond to stress with self-generating energy. Her mind remains stable under fear. She laughs even when facing danger. I cannot determine if this is ignorance or strength. Saru paused, looking through the glass at the sleeping human. Perhaps both, and perhaps that is the secret of her kind. Hours later, a quiet alarm echoed through the ship. A nearby asteroid field had shifted, sending debris toward Serapis. The ship trembled as small impacts rattled the hull. Maya woke instantly. Instinct told her this was bad. She rushed out of her room, finding the corridors alive with blue warning lights. Saru, she called. The doctor appeared calm as always. Do not be alarmed. Our shields are holding. The debris is minimal. But Maya noticed a flickering light on one of the panels. That doesn't look minimal. That's a breach warning. Before anyone could react, a loud impact shook the ship. The floor tilted. Energy crackled through the hall. One of the assistants stumbled, and a burst of power from a damaged console arced toward her, until Maya jumped forward, pushing the alien aside. The energy hit her instead. She cried out, but instead of collapsing, her body glowed faintly for a second, absorbing the shock. Saru stared, stunned. Yeah, you redirected the charge. Maya blinked, breathing heavily. Yeah, she said, still shaky. Guess my body wasn't done showing off yet. Saru's expression softened. You truly are remarkable, Captain Trent. Maya smiled weakly. Don't tell your machines. They'll get jealous. The halls of the Serapis were quiet again. The danger had passed, and the ship floated safely in orbit above a calm star. The Visari crew repaired the damaged systems, still whispering about what had happened in the last few hours. A human, small, fragile, and from a forgotten world, had saved one of their own from a fatal energy surge, and somehow she had survived it herself. Dr. Saru Valnai could not stop thinking about that moment. The image of Captain Maya Trent standing there with sparks dancing around her would not leave her mind. No advanced shield, no implants, just her body, her instincts, and her will. Now Saru sat in the observation chamber reviewing the new data. Her assistant stood behind her, silent and uncertain. The readings made no sense. Maya's body had absorbed enough electrical energy to stop 2 hearts, and yet her pulse had remained steady. Tira, the youngest assistant, spoke quietly. Doctor, this cannot be right. No species can survive this much energy. Saru stared at the screen, and yet she did. Maya entered the room then, looking much better than she had any right to. Her hair was messy, her clothes were burned at the edges, but she smiled as if she'd just walked out of a training exercise. You people really need better seatbelts, she said. That asteroid field was a mess. Saru turned toward her, astonishment mixing with admiration. You should be resting. Resting? Nah. You just poke me with something again, Maya said with a grin. The assistants exchanged puzzled looks. Humor still confused them, but it was becoming a familiar sound on the ship. Saru gestured for her to sit. Captain Trent, what you did was beyond anything we have seen. You risked your life for one of my crew. Maya shrugged. That's what we do. Can't just stand there and watch someone get fried. Saru tilted her head. Even when it could have killed you? Especially then, Maya said simply. Back home, we learn to help each other. Doesn't matter if it's a storm, a war, or an asteroid field. You try. Even if you fail, you try. Saru fell silent. For a long time, she just watched the human sitting there, alive and bright against the soft blue lights of the lab. You are different, Saru said at last. When other species face danger, they retreat. You move toward it. Maybe we're too stubborn to quit, Maya said, smiling faintly. A few hours later, a message arrived from the Coalition Council, the highest authority in the galaxy. They had heard of the discovery. They wanted to meet the human. Saru stood in the council chamber aboard the ship, her tall form calm and composed. The holographic figures of the counselors appeared around her, glowing like mist. Maya stood beside her, feeling a bit out of place. A voice spoke, a deep, commanding tone from one of the counselors. Dr. Valnai, your report on the human species has caused much discussion. You claim they are adaptive beyond measure, yet they are unstable and emotional. Should such beings be introduced to our civilization? Saru took a breath before replying. They are not unstable. They are alive. Explain, another voice said. Saru nodded toward Maya. This individual, a captain of a small lost race, survived 3 centuries in stasis without assistance. Her body resisted our technology. She absorbed an energy surge that would destroy a Vasari, and she still laughs. The counselors murmured among themselves. Such unpredictability can be dangerous. Maya spoke up before Saru could answer. Unpredictable? Yeah, that's fair. But that's how we've always been. We learn fast, we mess up, we get back up again. That's not danger. That's growth. The holographic eyes turned to her. And what would your species bring to the galaxy, human? Maya looked around at them. You've all got advanced ships, perfect cities, and peace that lasts centuries. That's amazing. But when's the last time you felt alive? When's the last time you faced something hard and said, we'll find a way? Not because you were programmed to, but because you had to. Her words echoed through the chamber. For a moment, even the hologram seemed unsure how to respond. Saru watched silently, her eyes bright with pride. Finally, one of the counselors spoke. You speak boldly, human, but your kind has been forgotten by time. What proof do we have that your people are worthy of alliance? Maya smiled. You already have it. You just saw it. I'm still here. After the meeting, silence filled the corridor. Saru and Maya walked side by side. I think I made them angry, Maya said quietly. Saru gave a soft laugh, a sound rare among her kind. Perhaps. But you also made them think. That is far more dangerous, Maya grinned. Good, thinking's the first step to doing. Saru looked at her thoughtfully. You know, Captain, my people believe perfection is the goal of life. But your species, show that imperfection is strength. You adapt because you must. You endure because you cannot do otherwise. Maya stopped, turning to face her. Yeah, we've got our flaws, but that's how we learn. Every mistake, every loss, it teaches us something. Maybe that's our version of perfection. Saru nodded slowly. Perhaps that is what we have forgotten. Days passed aboard the Seraphis. The crew began to warm to their strange human guest. Maya shared stories of Earth, blue oceans, stormy skies, cities filled with noise and life. The Vasari listened with quiet wonder. For them, their homeworld was silent, organized, and calm. But in Maya's tales, life was messy and beautiful all at once. One evening, Saru joined Maya at the observation dome again. The stars stretched endlessly before them. You told the council you were still here, Saru said softly. Those words, they carry weight, Maya smiled. It's the truth. No matter what happens, humans keep showing up. Saru looked out at the stars. The Coalition may not understand that yet, but they will. I will make sure they see what I have seen. Maya looked at her, surprised. You'd stand up for us? Saru nodded. You saved one of my people without hesitation. You risked yourself for a stranger. I will not forget that, Maya gave a small, genuine smile. Guess we're even then. The following week, the Seraphis transmitted Saru's final report to the Coalition. It was a detailed study of human biology, behavior, and resilience. But at the end of the document, Saru added one personal note. Humanity is not defined by perfection, but by persistence. They fail, they fall, and yet they rise again. In them, I see the fire that the galaxy has long forgotten. The report spread quickly through Coalition science networks. Some dismissed it as romantic nonsense. Others began to wonder if Earth's lost children still lived somewhere among the stars. As for Maya, she stood by the viewport, watching the stars drift by. The Visari ship hummed softly around her, full of strange beauty. Saru approached, carrying a small metal badge, the emblem of the Galactic Coalition. She held it out to Maya. "What's this?" Maya asked. "A symbol of recognition," Saru said. "The first human ever registered as a guest of the Coalition." Maya stared at it for a moment. The badge shimmered faintly in her hand. "Didn't expect a souvenir," she joked. Saru smiled faintly. "It is more than that. It means you and your kind are no longer forgotten." Maya's voice softened. "Thank you, Saru, for believing in me." Saru bowed slightly. "No, Captain Trent. Thank you for reminding us what it means to be alive." Later that night, as the Serapis continued its journey through the quiet stars, Saru looked once more at the sleeping human. Maya's breathing was steady, her expression calm. In that moment, Saru felt something she hadn't felt in centuries. Hope. Maybe humanity was small compared to the vastness of the galaxy. But in their smallness lay their greatest strength. They never stopped trying, never stopped dreaming, and somewhere, far across the endless night, other humans might still be out there, ready to surprise the universe again. Saru whispered softly to herself, "The stars will remember their name."